Welcome to Your Health. I'm your host, Rhonda Alfred, and joining us on this episode is Dr. Emma Fleckman, a hospitalist at Terrebonne General Health System. We will discuss her being a hospitalist and the vital role that she brings to our community. Welcome to the show, Dr. Fleckman.
Thanks for having me here.
All right, well, let's get started with you telling us a little bit more about yourself and your role at Terrebonne General.
Okay, so my role as a hospitalist at Terrebonne General is basically just seeing patients when they're inpatient and helping out with their primary care while they're in the inpatient facility.
All right. Well, let's learn a little bit more about you. Why did you first decide, and when did you first decide you wanted to get into the medical field?
So I would say probably beginning of college. I was an athlete. I played softball. I was a pitcher. So I'd had several shoulder surgeries. Ended up becoming interested in medicine, but was kind of skeptical a little bit about like biochem and some of those courses. I didn't know how I was going to feel. So I ended up actually going to physical therapy first, just for my athlete days. And then while I was working with a physical therapist and I worked at a physician-owned group, I worked a lot with the orthopedics, and then they kind of pushed me to really decide to go into medicine. And so I ended up going to med school and then ended up internal medicine.
Oh, that's very interesting. Yeah. And what made you pursue hospital medicine?
So I liked the variety of different things you could see. I feel like specialists, you only really focus on one thing, which is great, but I like being able to have like multiple things, multiple systems, and really being able to kind of deep dive into patients' issues and conditions. So that's why I thought a hospitalist and internal medicine was a really good specialty for me.
Okay, can you explain exactly what is a hospitalist?
Yeah. So usually when patients are admitted, it used to be, that a primary care doc would try and come and see them and then do outpatient. And now they've tried to transition. So a hospitalist is an internal medicine certified doctor. They just actually see the patients in the inpatient side. So we're really the quarterback when they're in the hospital. If they have cardiac issues or GI issues or something like that, we kind of and the team quarterback and getting everyone together and really being that team player to help that patient in the facility.
Okay, that was my next question. How do you help patients in the hospital?
Yeah, so as I said, we're really just their primary doc while they're in the hospital, and we really just help with getting specialists and recommendations and, doing a deep dive into all of their conditions to really make sure that they're being treated appropriately and that if we need to change meds or anything like that, we're helping them there.
Right. I can see that this specialty is very beneficial to patients. And so how do you help primary care physicians as well?
Sure, yeah. So, since we admit for a lot of the primary care doctors, they're able to see that their patient's been admitted. We try and contact them and let them know, your patient's inpatient, this is what's going on, and kind of keep them updated. Usually try at a daily point just to keep them updated everything that's going on, if there's any big changes. So that way when they leave, they have all this information of what happened and they're able to see them and kind of really understand, any changes, any med changes. So we really try and keep a close relationship so the patient feels like they're taken care of inpatient and on the outpatient basis.
Right. So that's a little bit different than what our community is used to. They're used to their doctor coming to the hospital, taking care of them. So they can rest assured that you'll be the quarterback of the care that they'll be receiving. All right. So what are you most excited for with your career here at Terrebonne General?
When I was interviewing, I just really liked the facility and also just the family feel, I think. I think the community, as well as all the physicians and people that work here are very supportive of each other, and you can be on a first, name basis. So I think I'm really excited just to be at a facility where I think everyone is appreciative of each other and can really work well together and kind of that collaborative spirit.
Right. And you're not far from home. Tell us where you're from.
No. So I am from New Orleans. I grew up there and went to college and everything in Louisiana, and then ended up med school and was partly in New Mexico. I did a rural track medicine thing. So that's also where I kind of got a community-based feel hospital, and then was in Cleveland at Cleveland Clinic for residency. So I'm really excited to be back in the area. My dad's from around here, so it's just a really exciting time.
Oh, great. We're so glad to have you. So what are some main things that you would like people to know about hospital medicine?
So I think a couple of the main things are, we're here for those patients. I like forming those relationships. I know we're not going to see you outpatient, but I want to make sure that everyone feels like they're being seen and heard and that we're trying to help them as much as possible and working with their primary care doc. I also think it's just knowing that we'll try and help in every way possible with any type of thing, if it's social or anything like that, that we're always there to really push for everyone.
What are some of the most common conditions that you see patients for?
So I would say a lot of the most common ones are, heart problems. So we have a lot of patients with congestive heart failure. So they come in, they have a lot of fluid, short of breath, all of those things. So that's one really common one. Or just any type of heart disease. They come in and they need stents or something with cardiology. So obviously we work with the cardiologist very closely a lot. And then I think a couple other things are COPD and asthma. We have a lot of patients that are on oxygen and need steroids. So I think those are usually the two most common types. And then we have some GI stuff, people coming in with a lot of GI issues. Are they bleeding, or if they're having really bad nausea and vomiting. So we work, I would say, those three.
Thank you so much. We're so glad you're here. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
For more information about Terrebonne General Health System, please visit tghealthsystem.com. Thanks for joining us on To Your Health. I'm your host, Rhonda Alfred, and we'll see you right back here next week.